What's going on, people? Welcome back to Mandem Football. It's your boy here, Demeachnyc. As always, like, comment, and subscribe in the video as usual. And of course, never forget to follow me on Instagram or follow me on Twitter at Mandem_football. Of course, and like I just said before, like and comment and subscribe on the video as usual. And today, well, let's be honest, there's not really much going on in the market besides what we already know of right now, especially in the Premier League. Number one, let's get down to what we've heard already. Hugo Ekitike, the big man that we have been talking about for the last few days. Hugo Ekitike could be going to Newcastle or Liverpool. However, Liverpool have played the bully here. They have played the chess piece here. They have been playing the Queen's game, and what we like to call the most powerful chessboard actual figure in the game, the Queen. That is what Liverpool are doing right now. Liverpool are moving like queens right now. You know, let's go over what's been going on. So with Newcastle, it seems as though Newcastle were interested in getting Hugo Ekitike while also having Alexander Isak as their main striker. It seemed like they were going to get Hugo Ekitike for around about £70 million as a bid to Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. Then Liverpool came around and said, hold on a second. Hold on. We see you guys are moving a little bit discreet, but that's not going to happen on our watch. We are going to see if we can get Hugo Ekitike as a striker, or if you really want to, you can keep Hugo Ekitike and we can take your boy Alexander Isak for whatever you guys want. And that's pretty much what Liverpool tried to do. But as of this morning, it seems as though that's not going to happen. It seems like Liverpool are actually in even further talks for Hugo Ekitike than Newcastle were before. Hugo Ekitike to Newcastle was basically like 3 steps away. All that needed to be done was for the bid to be accepted and for the here we go to be confirmed. But it seems as though Hugo Ekitike is in further steps to join Liverpool than that was for Newcastle. So it seems as though Liverpool have found their main guy as their striker, which is Hugo Ekitike, and that will be probably completed by the end of the week or so, because we know Liverpool like to move really fast when it comes to their negotiations. Let's see what Newcastle are going to do, because Newcastle have said that they are not having Alexander Isak up for sale. It's been reports that this is the dream target for Liverpool, although Alexander Isak, we've heard that Alexander Isak respects and really loves to play for Newcastle and was loyal to the club. But I've heard from inside reports that he was open to joining Liverpool. So I don't know how loyal he is to Newcastle all the way. But let's say that Alexander Isak, he was keen on joining Liverpool. He was keen on going to the other side. He was keen on going to Liverpool. I've also heard that he's probably even went as far as to say he's dreamed of going to Liverpool, which is absurd stuff. But Newcastle made it clear that he is still under contract, which expires in 2027 or 2028, that he will not be going anywhere anytime soon. So he will be at Newcastle next season. Hugo Ekitike will probably be at Liverpool next season. And that is pretty much it. And for Newcastle, they really haven't lost anything. They just didn't get to gain anything out of this. Whereas Liverpool, they gained a player, but not the player that they actually really wanted in anticipation. So they didn't get Isak, but they got Isak's prototype, which is Hugo Ekitike. And Newcastle have Isak. So it's a win-win. Nobody really loses here. It's just that Newcastle probably have to go in for somebody else. Sticking on Liverpool, though, Luis Diaz. There's been reports that he's been interested by Bayern Munich. He's been interested by Barcelona. I've heard that a bid has gone in for Luis Diaz from Bayern Munich, but it's been rejected. It's been rejected by Liverpool, which is pretty much too low for them, for their standards. You know, 63 million. 65, 66 million, that is too low for a man like Luis Diaz from their perspective, of course. And they're expecting around about 80-something million for him. 80 million or maybe even 75. Personally, I think that is a lot. for a guy like Luis Diaz. I think that's a lot, especially at his age. He's definitely accomplished what needs to be said in terms of, why that price tag is there in the first place. But this is a player that's in the middle of his prime, and this is also a player that is on the older end scale of wingers that are also very available in the market. So it seems as though spending so much money for someone like Luis Diaz, I don't really think is the best move, especially for a team like Bayern Munich, who are very stingy and very conservative with the money that they pay for. That's just how Germans are anyways. So I think, spending all this money for someone like Diaz could go somewhere else to maybe a Bradley Barcola. Even that money could go for someone like Rafael Leao, who we know at the top of his game is a top 3 winger in the world. So we'll just have to see where Luis Diaz goes if he is to actually leave Liverpool. Although there's another winger that's also talked about in the market, that is, of course, Alejandro Garnacho and Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. We already know that these are 3 players that are definitely in the penthouse, or the penthouse, I should say, not the penthouse, the penthouse. They're definitely the players that are looked to be troublemakers. These are players that are looked to be as players in the doghouse, I should say, not penthouse, doghouse. Excuse me. These are players that are in the doghouse right now because they are not players that many teams are very keen on wanting to sign because of their reputation right now. We already know that at Manchester United, Garnacho and Marcus Rashford have been exiled from the squad earlier this year, and Alejandro Garnacho has been reintegrated into the squad. Chelsea have infamously paid Manchester United €5 million to just get this guy off of their team, get them off of their squad, and this the team sheet altogether, Jadon Sancho. So that is a very bad look going into any other team that want to sign any of these guys, especially Jadon Sancho. We know Garnacho already, his reputation and his relationship with Ruben Amorim, it's completely dead. It's completely non-existent. So I really want to see where these 3 individuals go, because I'm a big fan of Marcus Rashford just from a talent perspective. I think he's so good. I think talent-wise, he is considered, in my opinion, a world-class talent. He is so good, what he's been able to do, what we've seen over the years in the Premier League. He's just been incredible, and when he's in form, he's one of the best players around. Garnacho is a player that has a lot of potential, and if his potential is fulfilled, he could be one of the best players in his respective league. I don't think there's a big, or I should say a huge level for him to go in terms of ability, but Garnacho, if he is to develop and physically be more imposing, pace-wise, physicality, all that good stuff, on top of the technical ability he has as a player, then yeah, maybe he could become a world beater. But at the moment right now, his potential is so unfulfilled, but we've seen what he's capable of doing with the ball from the left wing. So I really want to see where he goes. Jadon Sancho, I'm with a lot of people on this. I don't really rate him that highly. I don't think he is that of what we believed he would be. There's not many moments that I can recall where he has been brilliant besides in Dortmund. I think Dortmund is just his sentiment club. That's just where he first started. That's where we first heard of his name all those years ago. And I just think Sancho is a player where his heart belongs in Dortmund. It belongs in the Bundesliga, and I don't think there's a problem with that. So I would really love to see him play somewhere where he will excel. I don't think it excels in the Premier League. I think it excels at Dortmund, probably in the Bundesliga. So Sancho, let's see where he goes. I think the only thing I can say about him is he had a game against not Manchester United. He had a game against Tottenham when Ronaldo was there, when Ronaldo scored the hat-trick at Old Trafford. That was the one game where I can recall Jadon Sancho was brilliant and he was unreal. Maybe the game against Liverpool, again at Old Trafford, where they won 2-1, where he was so good that game. He was so electric. He was penetrating. So I think those are really the only games, like only a select few moments where I can say of Sancho's career, at least in the Premier League, where I can say, yeah, he showed what he's capable of. I mean, he is an excellent dribbler. He has skill, no question. He is a techie player. But that's the most I can say about someone like Jadon Sancho. He isn't awful. It's just that, does he have the attitude to really, be a part of the team and to really say, hey, listen, this man is a friend of me in the pecking order. Let me take his spot. Let's see where it goes from there. And he just hasn't shown that. So those are three players that I'm really keen on wanting to see. The transfer market is also underway. Like I said before, Hugo Ekitike probably goes to Liverpool. Of course, Isak, rightfully so, stays at Newcastle. I don't see why he would leave right now, especially with the team that is at Newcastle. Especially the fact that the players that they have at Newcastle are very good. They've kept a hold of their great players, which is a very important factor in this game. Not many teams are going to be able to do that this window. So for Newcastle to keep a hold of those players is a huge, huge step in the right direction for them. And a player in the Premier League that is going to Roma, it seems like, that is close to going to Roma, is the striker from Brighton, the young striker, Evan Ferguson, the Irishman. This is a player that I rated a while ago, and I still rate. I just think he's been very unlucky with injuries. But this is a player that deserves to just make a name for himself outside the Prem. This is a player that deserves to make a name for himself somewhere else. And if that opportunity is there again, come back to the big, the big league where maybe not the Prem, but also just a big club where you can, concentrate on your trade. He's still so young too. He's round about my age, 21, maybe even 20 years old. He's still so young and he's still very talented, and he doesn't have to, go to a big club right now. If Rome is considered a big club, then that's the big club. But I'm talking about the Liverpools, the AC Milans, the Inter Milans, the Manchester Cities, the Arsenals of the world, the Inter Milans. I'm talking about the best of the best clubs out there. And I don't think he's quite at that level yet. So I just think, let him work on his trade, and he'll get there sooner than later. Evan Ferguson's a great player, and I just think he just needs more time to develop and to get some consistency under his belt. But let me know what you guys think, though. I'm really intrigued to see, where the transfer market goes. We already know what the word is with Liverpool and how they're moving. What's going on with Victor Gyökeres at Arsenal? Is that deal going to get sorted out? What's going on with, say, other strikers out there in the market? If you haven't already, check out my Twitter, and you can see players in the market that are listed especially in the striker positions, in that department where the market is so available for any of those players. I just really wonder where they're going to go, because these are top level players that are dying and are destined to go to a big club. And I really want to see where they go, because this really has a new message and a new statement being said by these teams that sign any of those players put on that list. So check that out on X in my description below. And for the rest of the video, that's all for today, guys. Please have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.